Welcome back to the State Farm Analyst Desk as we just witnessed the final game of Group C. And look, we've talked a lot about this group. There have not been a lot of stakes today, but there have been a lot of interesting picks, and there was certainly an abundance in this draft. So to kind of cap this whole thing off, we're gonna keep it simple. Picks behind you, G2. Let's go lane by lane. Yeah, I need a thumbs up, thumbs down, analyst. Maybe I'll give you more time to respond, maybe not. We're playing it loose here today.
Okay.
BrokenBlade top lane, Yone. Thoughts?
Boom, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yes.
You think this makes it to Rumble stage, or you just enjoyed watching it?
I think so. He made it during the LEC. He was playing quite a bit of Yone.
I enjoyed watching it.
That's fair.
There we go.
That's fair. Gankos on Sejuani jungle. Just a meme for grabs or for everybody?
Big thumbs up. Any coach that is side by side with him should draft him Sejuani.
Raz, you're a cruel man, but I respect it. All right.
There we go.
Gwen, mid, caps. Thoughts?
So I think, so can I dive into depth, or is it just like yes
You can
no?
take. We got 1 minute, and then we're gonna get into standing. So you got.
I only like Sejuani because it's 2 melee lanes you're playing around, so it actually applies your passive, so it gets you better setup when you're actually ganking.
True.
And that's the same reason I will like the Gwen, because if it's just Gwen isolated in mid, then it's completely circumstantial. When you have the Sejuani, then the top side of the map kinda is fine, but
Okay.
it's what the context it's into.
Sure.
An analytical take as well. Gwen is immune.
That is an analytical take. I like it.
Thumbs up. Also,
That's what it takes.
Let's do schedule.
unkillable.
We know
Caps the unkillable.
We know Senna Scion is sick. We saw Mickey X and Reckless play it. So let's talk about standings. 8-0-4-4-0-8. This is the clearest group I have ever seen in my entire life. This is a 1-2-3 stack ranking of this group. There can be no doubt or other interpretations, but we'll see how things change as we get deeper into the tournament.
Yeah, there are levels to this. It really does show very clearly. You know, Order is a team that has struggled, but have learned, I felt like, and has quite a few lessons they can take back home. Evil Geniuses have quite a few lessons they can take onto the next stage, while G2 just need to be able to now test themselves versus the best, right? I remember last MSI, guess who went lossless in a group of 3? It was RNG, and they ended up winning the whole event, right?
He called it right. Did you hear that?
Okay,
Did he just say what I thought he said?
Calm down, relax.
You're the NA pundit.
Relax.
You think G2's gonna win?
Did you just say
Stop.
G2's
Oh my
gonna
God,
win
the
MSI?
prophet.
Not,
Can we get that clip? Did Raz
my-
just say G2's gonna win MSI?
Don't
Clip it,
even
ship
Okay,
it.
all
think
right,
about
all
it.
right. We've derailed enough. Because now it's time to talk about the real stakes.
Okay, Mr.
Before
Host.
the real stakes. Analyst objectives. 3-3, 2 coming in. We got an under pun, generously given by none other than Mark Zimmerman himself. Caps went deathless. Here's the thing. Every caster in the room backstage, this is where I wish we had a camera, was losing their minds, because I don't know if you watched that game, dear audience, but Caps almost died a lot.
Yes, he did. I was worried.
I am worried now.
Yes. So we're in an interesting predicament here, not to spend too much more time here, but there's a hidden item to find and there's trash talk to be had in interviews, but Kevy does not have any more opportunities to pick junglers. So you both have the potential. The most that can happen is that you're tied at the end of the day 4-4.
Okay.
So
I've got a little.
You got a hint for Raz?
I did write a little. Now I'm no poem, okay?
Sure.
I'm a poet
will
rather.
quick
I
hint
will
though,
say-
so we have
okay,
to
go
move
for
over to
it, go
Group
for
B.
it.
Hidden in the studio,
Yeah.
where you find joy, beyond a new camera, behind a decoy. Now search, my dearest Raz. I'm bribable. Just give me cash.
What? Who gave him this much power?
That was very good. You
Thank you.
undersold yourself. That was fantastic. That was beautiful poetry.
That is wild that someone gave him that
follow
much
follow
power.
up on it later. Because now, again, keep in mind, if you've been following the broadcast since we started, thank you, One, for joining us for what has been a pretty long day so far. But remember that now we are moving back into games that have some stakes.
Okay.
So let's look forward as we ready ourselves for 3 more games from Group B. All the RNG games, of course, getting replayed. Remember that fastPay Wildcats, or Istanbul Wildcats, rather, are already out. And we're going to see exactly what can happen. Remember that, let's give a little context as to why this is happening if you've been out of the loop. As a reminder, because of the latency discrepancies discovered after day 3, League Operations determined that in the best interest of competitive integrity, RNG's games would be replayed, and it all starts now. So, again, we'll move from the schedule to the standings here in a moment. We can talk a little about these games. Thoughts on what we can expect from this group, gentlemen?
Yeah, first takeaway is how well PSG Talon bounced back,
Yeah.
right? And so there's a possibility that, there is a possibility they can take first, so that's the first fight. And the fact that Red Cannon still has a chance
And I think as well, for me specifically with PSG Talent, they're such an interesting team because in playoffs, they kind of regressed in terms of how aggressive they kind of were.
Yeah.
In the regular season, they were way more on the ball. They were driving the early game plays. Then they took a step back. Now at MSI, it kind of feels like they're finally moving forward again. They're starting getting more aggressive. They found their footing with Hanabiov in the top side as well. And I think on the first day, little slow, but with the kind of pacing and development they've had, I think the game against RNG this time around will look more competitive than former games.
And we'll have time to talk about the Red Candid soon, as you can see fastPay Wildcats coming here. I'm interested to see how they play. I remember in some of the interviews that we've seen from HolyPhoenix talking about how they just want to play their game. You know, the Turkish style that he talked about. The first time they came to an international event, talked about how the players around him, his teammates, didn't have that international experience. As you can see, the PSG team is actually enjoying themselves in the back. So, like, I think just putting your best foot forward, and once we said the same thing about Order, just showing your region, your fans, your best games.
And playing to disrupt the standings potentially. Well, I think we're generally all on the same page that RNG are clear favorites. Potential to go undefeated, as they did in the previous games, although they are being rematched, and they're wiped now, but they did win every single one of them, and we'll see now with the discrepancies balanced out if they can continue to win in the same way. But I think there are some tiebreaker scenarios, but for the most part, short of some huge upsets over RNG, which would involve Red winning a game, it feels like it's going to be the RNG show today, PSG coming in second. But we'll wait with bated breath to see maybe some crazy stuff can happen. One thing that is an absolute certainty, though, is that GALA has been absolutely popping off. The player to watch, I think, in this group. One unofficial pentakill, one official pentakill. This man is a monster.
Yeah, it's been so fun to watch GALA play out in this group. And a lot of it has just been when he feels and when his team feels confident, they actually just play to their limits, right? They got aced when they were playing up against PSG in one of their attempts to end a game. GALA in this specific game, just before this play, ended up dying looking for a play similar to this. But when he found the moment, the movement speed boost coming from Ming right behind him, he went for it and got his pentakill. It may have been redacted, but he had another chance.
You know, it's an old narrative, but it's so interesting if you think back to when GALA initially joined the roster, replacing the likes of Uzi, and all of a sudden they were only playing for Xiaohu in the top side instead. Now it's still kind of shifted back to that bot lane position as well, where top laner can be weak side as well. Their Bin has obviously performed very well on the carries, but still, they are very adamant at giving this guy resources. When he takes over in the mid to late game, all of a sudden, the game is looking completely different, and he will just take over.
And he's a scary man on his own. True. And I think it's got to be so frustrating right now for the Wildcats because HolyPhoenix is getting triple banned every game. Do we see it again? Because this is a guy that normally we talk about HolyPhoenix is this big. He's this aggressive carry player, but he's an aggressive carry player that plays like 3 super aggressive carries, and literally all 3 of them are permabanned.
Normally, this would feel so good. You're like, okay, I'm really opening up for my team. See how much I'm doing here. I'm scary on the Rift. I'm scary in the draft phase. Okay, guys, what you got?
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately the situation where he's such a good player, but I feel like as a team and like coordinating plays on the map and just individual strength, it's kind of been lacking a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, this was a game too that, funny enough, RNG allowed him to have 1 champ. That they only banned 2. And there was a game earlier on where they actually ended up banning 4 of his champions as they went into the second phase of the draft. So you're right. I'm looking at Serin, a player that the Turkish fans were excited about seeing on an international stage again, was taking names when he was back in the TCL. His Ahri, he had a great Ahri. And also StarScreen had a pretty damn good Mordekaiser. So I expect them to actually come in and have strong performances so they don't leave any regrets.
We'll see what they can bring to the table, what's kind of spice they've got up their sleeves for now before we head to the game. Let's listen to what Xiaohu had to say after the games yesterday in the Verizon post-game interview.
I'm now joined by Xiaohu for an interview. Ni hao, Xiaohu, welcome to the show. Now, I wanted to quickly talk about what happened against PSG today. That Baron steal seemed to have flipped the game completely. We've seen Wei do that before in the LPL. Could you talk me through what actually happened during that moment?
首先，恭喜小虎获得本场比赛的胜利。也想问一下，刚才那局对决中发生的一个故事，也就是小威非常漂亮的抢到了那条大龙，可能也是这场比赛的一个很关键的转折点。当然，我们之前也有看到威选手在 LPL 的赛场上有过差不多类似的一些举动，所以说当时是发生了什么呢？
当时看到 PSG 打大龙的时候，其实本身做的准备是。就是小明的色题准备下去把男枪给压走，然后围再进行一个抢龙吧。但是我们的配合失误了，所以这条抢到大龙就是完全是维的功劳。
To be honest, we just noticed PSG, they would like to target on that Baron, and Ming would like to use the Seth's ultimate to target on Graves, their jungler, but unfortunately, we just made some mistakes. Our plan didn't work out so good. So I think that part is just way performed so good.
Yeah, I mean, your plan worked out in the end. Now, I want to talk to you about what's happening because obviously you're in a bit of a tough situation. How's your mentality and your approach right now to the rest of your games, knowing that the other teams have had an extra practice matches against you?
那现在对于你们来讲，可能也会是一个稍稍有一点点艰难的一个局面。那其实也想问一下，小虎现在会秉承着怎么样的一个心态，然后来进入到接下来的对局当中？因为其实其他的一些队伍，他们可能会有更多的练习和准备的时间，然后来面对你们。
我觉得再打3场比赛的话，对我们来说也没什么影响吧。我们只要就是打好自己的，再赢下就好了。
I think play 3 more games will not influence us a lot. We can get the win for the other 3 games.
One of the teams you have to beat again is PSG. They seem to have improved a lot throughout this tournament. How big of a challenge do you think they will be to you tomorrow?
那今天你们的对手 PSG 好像和上一次的交手相比，感觉有一个比较不错的一个提升。所以说，你觉得可能在接下来的一个比赛当中，他们会不会就是会在什么程度上会成为一个小小的挑战呢？
首先我觉得今天对战 PSG 的话，因为我们也是选择了一些比较具有个人英雄主义色彩的英雄嘛，然后也没有打出比较好的效果，所以这也是在我们团战中频繁失利的一个原因吧。然后在下一次跟他们对决的比赛中，我们肯定会就是包括阵容还有选手状态会调整得更好，然后我也并不觉得 PSG 会对我们有威胁。
So I think for today's game, we have chosen the draft that our signature picks, some sort of this kind of draft. And actually in the actual game, we didn't perform so good in terms of our form or the actual play. But I think for the next rematch against PSG, we will have a better form, a better preparation. So I don't think PSG will be a challenge for us.
Thank you so much for your time, Xiaohu. 谢谢, and good luck with the rest of your games.
I'm sorry. Sorry, my producer just goes, ooh, in 10, 9. I couldn't
expose him like that. You
I'm
can't
sorry.
put it like that.
I was laughing so hard. It was like no one's going to understand because it's like faceless
We
voice
can see
coming
who the
into
professional
it.
is.
Yeah,
there,
oh
right?
yeah, absolutely. It's definitely not me. But anyway, we're going to come into our the 7th game of the day. Coming into this one here, it's RNG versus the fastPay Wildcats. And of course, RNG going to be playing 3 games in a row. Sadly though, for fastPay Wildcats, they are playing for pride. They cannot make it out of this group anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, not quite able to get themselves across the finish line. 1 and 4 at the moment, but it feels like, at least with the bans that are coming through at the moment, RNG still respecting these guys. You've got the Lucian ban, you're probably going to see the Samira, more than likely see the Kai'Sa, and we'll just go back to exactly what we've seen every time Istanbul Wildcats have been on the screen.
Absolutely, and I think for RNG, it is going to be about kind of creature comforts. That's what they've been sticking on for this whole tournament. And right now, again, you're just banning out HolyPhoenix. I wonder what the last ban will be from RNG.
I wonder what the last one's going to be from the Wildcats, because they are heavily targeting Bane in this top side, going, look, we want to make sure the StarScreen is going to be comfortable, because StarScreen has been struggling a little bit in that top side of the match. So I'm not surprised to try to see if they can get that nice pick up for themselves. Wouldn't be surprised to honestly see something like a Gangplank ban, but they're actually going to go back towards the Wukong.
Yeah, Wukong banned away. Again, they're taking away a lot of those solo power picks. The Camille is never getting into Bin's hands. The Gwen has got some, as we've seen from G2, some flexibility now in the different lanes. And of course, the Wukong's just a very solid one. And there it is. Kai'Sa gonna finish off the trifecta of bans that you just do against Istanbul Wildcats.
Yeah, which means the absolute no-brainer. It's going to be Ahri picked up for the mid lane, such a strong pick at the moment, and opens up a lot of strong junglers as well for Ferret. And I mean, when we look at the last few games, we've seen Ferret has been the standout player for Istanbul Wildcats. We got that Diana game yesterday where he was nearly able to carry, but not quite able to. So we'll have to see what his plan is going to be coming into this.
Well, Looks like they're going to be trying to lock in that bot side here for the side of RNG. And again, GALA has been incredible on this Ezreal so far this tournament. He has just been heat-seeking with those Mystic shots. And again, it kind of lends itself to the playstyle that we talk about in terms of RNG. You leave GALA alone, you get Ming to roam around the map and link up with the rest of his team.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a very similar draft to what we actually saw from one of the times these two teams faced up, with the Viego taken, the Ezreal taken as well. They definitely want to try and like make sure they've got, well, Wei's best champion at the moment, as you say, GALA on that comfort pick as well. We just see what Istanbul Wildcats want to go for on the upside. HolyPhoenix going to go back towards the Kai'Sa, which is kind of it's either the Kai'Sa or the Tristana that he's been aiming towards. But and then I just want to see a strong jungler. I feel like something like a Oisin, something like a Jarvan, something that can play towards this Ahri in the early stages is going to be your best bet here for Istanbul Wildcats.
Yeah, you need something that can combo up to get some kind of kill pressure, but they might decide instead they're going to go towards that support role and just get something in bot lane that can work for HolyPhoenix and Farfetch. So Leona locked in. It is still a very powerful bot lane. It is always going to have a bit of an issue locking down the Ezreal considering how slippery he is, but it's still got some good engagement potential.
So no more Nautilus for Farfetch, but we'll have to see how the Leona is going to pair up with the Kai'Sa on that bot side. It feels like kind of setting up for a lot of roaming, especially against the Ezreal. Push in, get Farfetch out of lane, and see what he's capable of doing. But Xiaohu going to be looking for the counter matchup here with the LeBlanc. We've seen what LeBlancs can do if they're able to get ahead in this matchup.
Yeah, specifically as well, Xiaohu on LeBlanc has been pretty good in the LPL and has absolutely just dumpstered mid laner, so we'll see if he's able to continue that trend as we now go into the second phase. And honestly, I would be remiss if the fastPay Wildcats do not ban away the Gangplank here. I feel like if you don't get rid of that from Bin, he's just going to take it up, and even having counter side on red.
Yeah, I was going to say top laners on one side, junglers on the other, but we're actually going to be looking at those support bans instead. So, I mean, if you're going to get rid of the Braum, maybe you want to look to get rid of the Nautilus as well, one of Ming's top champions. But it still feels like Ming can go back towards the Alistar though, which we've already seen out of him before as well. So it doesn't really feel like Ming's going to be putting under too much pressure, but I'm certainly curious to see what Ferret is going to go to with the Lee Sin ban, probably a Jarvan ban or something along those lines as well, and then you're kind of stuck scratching your head.
And let's talk about the TCL just for a little bit as well, because again, look, they're already out. They know this is their final game of the entire tournament, but you want to try and go out with a bang. And how they've played was, especially in the TCL, was around HolyPhoenix, but they've had to adapt very, very quickly coming into to the MSI 2022 group stages, because they've just been so hard focused. They've had to find some pretty decent performances on people like Serin and Ferret, who have shown glimpses of light, but they just need to have a little bit more together in order to make it stick.
Yeah, it just feels like they haven't been able to get control, and well, enough control over the map to actually try and play towards HolyPhoenix, and I think that's why we've seen them struggle, right? 1-4 at the moment, and we'll have to see if they're going to have a better time this time around. Nautilus, though, locked in for Ming, good counter matchup into the Leona, and now I'm kind of thinking, right, do you want to go back towards the Volibear here for Ferret? Do you go towards the Jarvan, at least get that early game aggressive jungler so you can try and come onto the map reasonably well? The Graves also fits into that tool as well, and then you're looking at what StarScreen wants to go from the top side. I imagine with the team fight kind of oriented pick
no, it's not. Is it? Yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
Okay. Nice. Okay, Garen locked in. I will say that Yinsu was told that she would get a Garen lock today. So there you go, Yinsu. It is locked and loaded. That's going to be Garen up into the top side. It is just a lane bully. It is something that can just win in its own little setup. You have such great sustain. You, of course, have great trading with your auto attack cancel and reset with the Q. So many ways that can work, but you're picking it a little blind right now.
I was going to say, you're picking it a bit blind. I'm sure Bin is kind of like, I'm not 100% certain when I play into this, but you're also looking at like super mobile champions on the opposite side, and Garen, not the best against that super mobile style. Like,
spin to win. Yeah, that's how you
exactly.
do it.
But you kind of got to spin at something, right? Like, you know, at least when you're playing Beyblades, they kind of knock off each other, right? But if they're just on the opposite side, it's not exactly the most interesting of matchups. It is going to be the Gangplank picked up in this top side as well. So Bin kind of going for the safe pick here, where he can just look to try and clear waves. You like, if the Garen can get on top of the Gangplank, you're certainly going to be in trouble, but it feels like Bin should be relatively all right to keep himself safe. So, I mean, I'm a bit worried for StarScreen with this. I don't know if he's going to have too much of an impact, but maybe if Ferret plays up towards the top side, he can try and help him. But even then, Garen doesn't exactly have the best of gank setup, you know? It's not exactly his strong suit.
It does what it does. You generally see it in most solo queue games. There's a very small pool of Garen competitive. I am triple checking to see the last time when we saw it, but it is generally the ignite. You go with just super aggression. You need to win this lane early, because again, if you fall behind this Gangplank, this is Bin's Gangplank. It is going to be absolutely abhorrent to try and deal with this, but I love it from the side of the fastPay Wildcats. You got to go with something. Go out with a bang at the very least. You did what you wanted to do. You've been hovering it, you've been teasing it, and finally you get it locked in.
Yeah, I just kind of feel a little bit sorry that it feels like the composition that RNG has is kind of decently set up to deal with this. You got good poke, good mobility, and the ability to try and like set up reasonably well around objectives as well. And as long as you're able to keep the Garen at bay, you should be all right, I'll say, to try and keep yourself in touching distance here for RNG.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We're going to be jumping onto the rift very, very shortly. For fastPay Wildcats, it's about regional pride. It's about getting as much as you possibly can and a little bit of fun with that Garen. And of course, for the side of RNG, it is getting yourself back up to the top of this group. Currently sitting at 3-0 officially. And they're going to be able to push themselves in as we jump straight onto the rift.
So it is going to be StarScreen's first competitive game on Garen. Just had a quick look there. Hasn't played it before, so be interested to see. And especially when StarScreen, you know, the last time we had these two face up, we got the Gangplank from Bin, we got the Vladimir from StarScreen. Didn't quite go in favor of StarScreen with Bin being able to get the solo kill. So this definitely feels like StarScreen going, all right, I'm going to make sure that I definitely can have a good time in this lane.
We will wait and see how it all ends up going. But look, it's a very standard composition we see from RNG. We know what they're going to be trying to do. It's kind of leave GALA on an island, roam around, and see what Xiaohu can do. But what I want to see is what can the side of Wildcats do to negate that? We know how good that RNG are at moving around the map. How do Wildcats mitigate it and deal with it?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of what they kind of need to do is play off of bot lane pressure here, because HolyPhoenix and Farfetch should have push in that bot lane, and then try and use that, maybe linking up with Serin if Serin is pushing the mid as well, and then start invading onto the bot side. Like, Wei not exactly going to be the stronger of the two junglers if Ferret has backup as well, so maybe you can look for some presence there. And already you can see, at least at the moment, Istanbul Wildcats considering going for an invade here, and they will be spotted on this ward as they crest in over to the Raptors.
That's why you take the Garen. You get that auto attack reset with the Q. It means you can take wards faster. It's the big brain strat, man. It's the big brain strat. I will say it is very annoying as a person who can lane against something like a Garen, that he just has like so much early game pressure. And if you are the villain, which I don't know if you know, he does have the true damage coming down on his ultimate. So it can be a lot of bursts at level 6 that you're not really expecting.
I'm actually curious to see if Ferret's going to go for a level 2 gank in top side. They didn't actually start pushing the wave. So if Ferret kind of smites this and then walks up top, could look for a play, maybe get an early flash out of Bin, which would help out StarScreen massively. But I mean, still an option here if he wants to try and go for it. But Bin has warded that tri-brush, so aware that this could potentially be the case.
And we've done a little bit of digging, thank you, of course, to our stats team. The last Garen in a relevant tournament, kind of like ERL or higher, is EU Masters 2021 Summer in Jungle by ANO's Dominant. Maybe you remember it.
Yeah, Dominant. Yeah, I remember that. I was expecting it to be like the Yumi Garen.
Yeah, that's what I was
thinking. That was where I was going to be, but yeah. I forgot Dominant brought that out. I think it was twice he brought it out. At least it brought it out once in 2021 and once brought out in 2020 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are going to see Wei just going for the invade as a hook comes down onto bot side, but it's only onto a Leona, so it's just going to be a little bit of lane pressure here coming out from RNG. And they're just going to be able to push in. It's going to be tough for Serin to really solidify himself in this lane. This is why you see the LeBlanc into the Ahri. You have so much kill potential, especially pre-6.
Especially if you're able to land those chains. That's kind of the big difference maker there, where you're able to trade super effectively. Wei, though, will be spotted out. Farfetch on the way.
Farfetch is coming. Wei will probably have to flash over the wall as he gets himself the red steal. Gets him back out of harm's way. So good response here from the side of the fastPay Wildcats. They will not just give up that buff for free, but that's a large wave.
I was going to say, I mean, I feel like HolyPhoenix and Farfetch should have had decent control over this bot lane. Is Serin.
Oh, Xiaohu. He will lose his duplicate as Serin. Literally one more auto attack and he is dead. He needs to walk away. He can't really stay here, but it's such a big wave, he'll lose so much.
I mean, Xiaohu will have his cooldown soon, but does need to be careful himself. Wei now sneaking in behind this bot lane to make sure that they're safe if Ferret decides to show his nose down here, but I mean, good call here from RNG at the moment, at least having good control over bot side and keeping themselves relatively healthy.
Oh, they're going to go in. They don't know the danger. The flash is there, but the hook has landed. That's first blood going over to Ming.
And now it becomes really hard for HolyPhoenix to try and hold on to this mid lane, or sorry, this bot lane turret as well, because, I mean, GALA, Ming can always push this in. You have the potential here for a dive, so HolyPhoenix has to give up more of that CS, and you can already see it's ballooning a little bit down in the bot side of the map.
I mean, we're only 4 minutes in, it's nearly 2,000 gold, and you can see just the priority in every single lane coming out from RNG, bot lane, mid lane. HolyPhoenix has to walk away. He can't stay here. He's losing so much just to the pressure that Way's been putting in bot side, and now RNG, you can see if they can keep their top laner alive as the fastPay Wildcats try to make something work, but he's a Gangplank.
Yeah, just going to be able to back away. Now, StarScreen does have this wave frozen in a really good spot, but RNG kind of in a better spot on the opposite side.
Oh, there's another hook coming out. They know that Farfetch does not have any flash. He will get the heal out from HolyPhoenix to try and keep him alive. They have to block the Mystic shots, and does just enough for Farfetch to stay alive, but you're alive, but at what cost?
Yeah, I was going to say, you do have support in the way, though. Serin moving down will be spotted on the ward. RNG will be able to back up, but, I mean, you're double the CS for GALA, and you've got that assist as well. HolyPhoenix, you're getting targeted so hard, this MSI.
Yeah, you were gonna say this game, and I heard you were like, no, it's not just this game. It's been this entire tournament, and honestly, it's just been. We have had teams in the past, you think of RNG, like past years, where it's just been the Uzi show. It's been about him in the bot lane, but it was always that thing of like, yes, you know we're going to focus bot lane. You know we're going to give our AD carry the resources, but we don't care. We're still going to work. There's nothing you can do about it. It doesn't have the same stick power here for the fastPay Wildcats, and it does feel like they are getting very much heavily targeted, and there's not really a lot they can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the issue, right? It's not even just about how they can play the map. It feels like they're just not getting the chances, but how strong RNG are in lane. You got a big minion wave as well in the mid lane, at least for Serin to collect, but he is still going to be pretty far behind. Ming even here to try and shadow, and it's these map movements as well that help keep RNG with these advantages and stop Istanbul Wildcats from really being able to push their toe back and see if they can get control for themselves.
RNG is such a historically dominant organization within the LPL and even internationally as well. One of only 2 teams to win MSI, the other one being T1, of course, in this tournament, which, funny enough, has the most winners of all time in this tournament. We have G2, we have T1, as we're going to see a little bit of a move here, but Xiaohu's on LeBlanc. But yes, G2, T1, and of course RNG. The only one we're missing is EDG. And they couldn't physically be here because RNG's here. So we have got stacked past winners of this tournament. And for RNG, they are just continuing to show why they're the reigning champions, and they're just constantly just showing us how good they are at just map movements.
I think they also just want to show that they can, like, basically do what G2 have just done, which is go undefeated in their group, right? Come back and kind of do the 9-0, right? Show that they are just absolutely dominant. They deserve to be going up against, like, the T1s, the G2s, and show that this is really where we're going to be looking at.
See Wei now on this bot side. They're trying to deny another 10 or so minions from HolyPhoenix. He'll get in range of the experience, but actually getting the minions itself is going to be, and you can see the experience there, nearly a full level difference between GALA and HolyPhoenix, and that's Wei basically beside him at all times.
It has been a real toughie here, and unfortunately for Istanbul Wildcats, like, he's not really gonna let up. I mean, GALA and Ming know exactly how strong they are. You don't even have vision on the map right now for Istanbul Wildcats, so they don't know where Wei is, and they're just like, yeah, we're out, we dip, we surrendered, let's just give up this bot lane turret. And put Xiaohu isn't in the mid lane to try and answer.
Here we go, they're gonna have the ultimate come in, and StarScreen gets in. I told you the Demacian ultimate is scarily bursty.
Where's Ox? Someone to get Ox on the phone. We need to get the response. Because, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you end up over pushing in this lane, you're going to be in trouble. Gangplank definitely will get chased down by the Q. Yes, you'll have the W to try and keep yourself healthy as Gangplank to remove Scurvy, but it's really not going to do very much against the Garen.
Now the Demacian Justice doing justice. We do see the True Shot Barrage to stop any kind of push in the mid lane here from the Wildcats. Ethereal Chain will land, and never mind. Look at the damage.
God.
They actually try and defend him, but he has to flash away the Gangplank ultimate. What's he supposed to do?
This is, like, they're just chasing HolyPhoenix around the map. They're like, you know what? No matter where you hide in the school, the bully's going to find you. And now RNG will turn over towards the Rift Herald as well. They already have a ton of plates in the bot side, so they're not, like, they don't even have to try and put that attention there anymore. They can just move this into top side and make sure that GALA is either snowballing or bin as well.
Yeah, they're going to maybe try and contest around this Rift Herald, but there's not really any vision control. And StarScreen had already been spotted out on the top side, so they just kind of backed themselves away. And this is a This is getting a bit rough for HolyPhoenix. We're going to look at the StarScreen, the one shining light right now, and he needs to be a big star for them.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, Bin, you needed to use this flash way earlier, especially when StarScreen able to follow you. You're just going to take so much damage from that. The Q does so much work in helping you to close that distance, and you can just see there, if Bin is overextended in this lane, the solo kills can come through.
Look at the trade now. We can see now the mid laner's going towards that bot side. It's going to put GALA and Ming into the mid lane, which just opens up any real kind of avenue for Ming to go for. He can go mid, he can go top. But it's funny enough, actually, something that we haven't really seen a huge amount this tournament, but it is just RNG hard focusing in that bot side and just saying, look, GALA, you are going to be the carry for the early stages. We're going to be funneling resources into you, which isn't exactly how they tend to do it, but it seems to be working.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we look at like playoffs for RNG, it has been very much bot focused, but they kind of took a step back from that when they initially came into MSI. We're like, oh, we can play elsewhere, we can kind of put resource into Xiaohu, but they've kind of fallen back on what worked for them in the LPL playoffs, which is, look, if GALA's up and rolling, we're going to be in a good spot. And as the desk already said, he's had a phenomenal MSI thus far, and if you're going to continue to give these resources to him, you know he's going to give you tenfold back.
He's been doing very well. Bin being watched right now by the fastPay Wildcats and the Garen brush. The Garen brush. It's a classic. It's known throughout all of League history as they try to make it work. He doesn't land the W now, and now HolyPhoenix can't really join the fight, but I don't think it matters. They're going to try and turn this one all the way around. The heal comes out for StarScreen just to make sure he stays alive, and HolyPhoenix will pick up the kill.
Yeah, with 2 on top side though, RNG can start to go in towards mid. Ferret doesn't know he's been spotted.
Oh, he does, but he thought he was only just the ward. He didn't know that there was going to be a Ming and a wave there, and even then GALA picks up the kill with the true shot barrage. Now Xiaohu, very aware he's by himself, but he's going to try and break some ankles as they come back in underneath the turret. They're going to be able to lock him down, maybe even take him out. That is Xiaohu going down. Serin taking up way too much turret, but he should still survive. And this is the GALA show, because the rest of RNG, they're kind of getting a bit sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, Farfetch gets the good flash to keep himself safe. You've got the kill going into top side. Ming will have support in just a second.
I mean, that's a lot of damage. You got to remember, this is still an Iron Spike whip, and oh, if StarScreen had a little bit more health, he would have been able to take this one out, but he is still going pretty strong right now. Wei should and will take down that kill. Mid lane turret does go down, and now you get Garen on RNG.
Yep, I mean, look, at the moment though, regardless of whether it's like 3 to 4 in kills, right? Look at the gold lead, look at the map presence that RNG been able to get. Mid lane turrets now down, you got a ton of vision that's been set up in the enemy jungle. You already have the majority of that turret in the bot side taken as well. It'll only be a matter of time before that falls, so that's why we're seeing that still, even with this, RNG in a pretty good spot when it comes to the map state. They will maybe try and contest this dragon though, as Ferret trying to rush it down before RNG can collapse.
And then, honestly, this is a good play from fastPay. They're kind of saying, look, take it off spawn. We know they had to go for resets, but Wei will recognize that there's probably a ward just gone down. He's by himself. He can't contest. So a little bit of a reprieve from the fastPay Wildcats. They finally get themselves an objective. They're able to kind of move forward back on the map, but now that RNG are back on the map, you got double Triforce. This is now a lot of early game burst.
Yeah, I mean, if they actually do manage to get a couple of these hits down, they are going to demolish people. And honestly, I think GALA is huge right now. Like, you look at the Triforce, the Caulfield's Warhammer. He's been so far accelerated because of all the plates he's gotten, because of the kills and the extra help that he's accrued as well. Like, this is going to be the GALA show. And when you look at Istanbul Wildcats, maybe Serin can try and shut him down because he's got a bit of chase potential with the ultimate, but it's not really going to be enough.
I mean, StarScreen's going to have to do this. This is just going to have to be his game right now and how he plays it, because he needs to make sure he gets behind people. Doesn't quite have the stride breaker just yet, and is just going to use his spin to win to get himself and the wave pushed out, as we can now see RNG focusing up towards that top side. Still a minute or so left on plate, so they're still waiting to collect an awful lot of this standing gold to just keep accelerating this early game.
Yeah, trying to keep themselves going. You got Wei now coming up here to make sure that GALA can actually continue to push in safely. And it feels like, at least when you start to look towards neutral objectives, with that Rip Tower going to be coming up in about 2 minutes time, RNG can use the fact that GALA's already on the top side, get that objective, and HolyPhoenix might go down.
Yeah, the red buff's going to slow him up. He does have flash, but the Heartbreaker over the wall is going to do just exactly what it said on the tin and break the hearts of the TCL AD carry. And that, while that's been happening, bot lane's going to go down, so that's going to be 10 plates If you include the top side, it's going to be 11. So they're almost basically getting as much gold as they physically can out of what is available to them.
Yeah, and again, the majority of that is going to be on GALA as well. So this is where we're kind of looking to see what the RNG AD carry can do, as we're actually going to see Ferret considering moving up here. But I don't know if they really want to go for this.
It would be hard. Here's going to be the Hex flash. Then a blade will not land, and then the poke can come out. The Solar Flare goes wide as well. They're going to use a Spirit Rush for the Charm. Everything just millimeters away from landing, and now GALA going to be putting down some serious hurt. He's keeping the Arcane Shift in back pocket just in case he needs it, but that was a bit scary for a moment.
I mean, has the Cleanse, has the Flash, has the Arcane Shift, just able to fancy feed his way around that one. And now you can start to see RNG collapsing.
Oh, they're looking for people. HolyPhoenix.
No.
He just can't do anything. He's actually gone from a 2v2 to a 1v1 with a jungler, and he's just losing every single time. Now Farfetch in a bit of trouble. Hasn't got himself the Aftershock just yet. It doesn't even matter, as RNG 6,000 gold ahead, and you can see it there. GALA setting up to 7,000, and we're only just at 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just snowballing it completely out of control. This 7,000 gold lead nearly there. The tower's going to fall. The Rift Tower that we talked about there as well. So you kind of just get to set that one up and start looking for tier 2s with that Rift Herald. And Bin might be in trouble.
I mean, he's going to have a lot of trouble there. As we can see, there's the Strikebreaker putting down the slow. But once you don't get the first burst, you end up going down. The Ignite is good, but Bin is better. Never mind, he's just as good. They're going to be able to trade down the bot side. That's so frustrating for Bin. He knows he can be able to be better in a team fight, but in the 1v1, they are as equal.
Yeah, I mean, look, trading back and forth, the Ignite helping out StarScreen massively there, but Istanbul Wildcats trying to see if they can establish themselves on this bottom side of the map, maybe get some vision control down, but Farfetch, he's a long way from home, and RNG are trying to see if they can hunt him out.
He's had a feeling someone was around, and Xiaohu's just skirting around vision right now. Ferret's got to be so careful. HolyPhoenix, I don't even know if you're safe here, my dude. You're 1-3. You just got yourself the Kraken Slayer, but I don't think there's gonna be a target on your back all game.
The observers are turning this into a horror show. We keep seeing them go into the dark. I'm like, oh no, where are they?
Yeah, they're gonna look for a blast going over the wall. Xiaohu can join. It's gonna be a 3v4 on the bot side. There's gonna be ultimate coming out for Nautilus. As we can see, Wei trying to put down some damage on the Farfetch. Who goes in. Solar Flare comes down, but it doesn't really land on who they wanted to. HolyPhoenix tries to shotgun his way in. As StarScreen finds a mark, but Farfetch is the first to fall. Now, can they keep going? Xiaohu thinks he might have something, but you gotta respect the damage coming out from this Graves. They're going to back themselves away, and in the 4v4, it's a 1-for-nothing trade.
Yeah, they will just reset with 40 seconds left on the Dragon. They'll just rush down to this bottom side as well, even having the Hex Gates to try and help out in getting them out of the base. You've got Gangplank pushing in the top side, so you need someone to go and deal with him. It'll probably be StarScreen who goes, but even if it's Serin and StarScreen, neither of them have the TP to get back down towards the Dragon. We just see the 1v1 here, though. I mean, it was so back and forth. Bin trying to get that damage down, cleanses the Strikebreaker, pops out the ultimate, and with that barrel explosion, you can see Bin thinks he has it, but the villain damage, the extra damage that comes through from the ult and the Ignite does so much work there.
That's what you do as Garen, is run at your opponents. You gotta hope you can burst them out before they can burst you. And we can see the Gangplank is slowly getting to a point of not being able to, or being able to deal with it. We can see Shelly finally getting dropped down on bot side. So RNG gonna try and crack open this bot lane and make it as long as possible for anyone trying to push out these waves. And I mean, look at the way the map is working right now, even in mid lane. Like, fastPay Wildcats, they try to go for something top, but then the Gangplank, he just backs away, drops his ult. You can't take the tower.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of heartbreaking for TCL as well, especially like listening to Yinsu talk about the TCL. They're like, this was where they're looking for to, you know, the redemption story, the opportunity to really show what they couldn't at last Worlds, and it feels like at least going 1-4 at the moment, looking like 1-5. It's not exactly the way that the TCL was hoping to end their MSI split.
Absolutely, especially after the first round robin, where they were, you know, again, very much the same as everybody else, sitting on 1-1 and just knowing that they had a rock, paper, scissors around the other two teams of the Red Gannets and, of course, PSG Talon, but it just hasn't really come together, and they were so close against PSG Talon the other day. It just never really stuck, and that just becomes a bit of an issue. But the Hex Flash over the wall just protects your pink wards. It's always good to keep your established vision. I love this from Xiaohu. He's just gone with the full Medjais and just gone, I'll stack it later, it's fine.
I mean, look, realistically, if you're looking to try and very quickly end this game, Medjais does work out. It's cost efficient. You get that quick legendary item, which also gives you the legendary passive on your mythics as well. So it just works out very quickly. It's starting to get you to a place where you're able to snowball off of those 2 item spikes.
Well, with the objective bounties available as we hit now 9,000 gold. It's just slowly getting bigger and bigger when they're not even taking any fights. Finally, the first tower for the side of the TCL representatives will be taken as they get the top side tier 1, but you can just see how little resources they're able to get right now, because if they try and walk forward, they're just probably going to die.
I mean, someone does have to deal with StarScreen, though. Because, I mean, if you get enough of these bounties, we'll kind of do relatively all right as he's
just dancing in the brush.
Away. Beautiful stuff.
Dancing is what we do. It's great.
I'm not. Oh, I thought you were looking at me to carry on. I was like, I'm not carrying on.
Well, Peekaboo, I see you. He's going to be able to try and find him out there. He's going to jump in. StarScreen, go on. Try and make this one work for you. He gets the ultimate down, but not enough damage. Bin will not tick down to the Ignite. And Wei is there to cover his top laner.
Yeah, Wei being there just to make sure that Bin doesn't fall again. You can see it's not exactly the easiest matchups for the Gangplank, but with Viego there, they can turn around, and it does relieve a little bit of the pressure, at least the moment, from Istanbul Wildcats on the base, knowing there's 2 people on the top side, but it feels like it's going to be pretty short-lived as Bin will push in top side. You've already got the push in mid, and RNG are going to join their top laner for this next tower.
Yeah. I was thinking about. You saw me.
You were still singing. You were still singing.
Honestly, in my head, I was in my own world of just like, what other songs could I sing that wouldn't, you know, get us DMCA'd? But Ferret, tick, tick. Yeah. One more, boom. That's going to be enough damage. And that's a solo kill going over to Xiaohu as they try and defend their top tier 2. And honestly, they have to kind of defend 4v5 as well, because you can see on the bottom side, HolyPhoenix is trying to get any resources. But look at this. Thank you so much, observers. You have no vision, nothing. I see, what, 2-3 wards around the bottom, and they're all near their own turrets.
Sorry, I was just laughing at, like, they have to try and do this 4v5. It's like, yes, they did just lose someone. Awesome job. Your math is correct.
Now it's 3v5, as you can see them try and go for this one. Baron down to about 1,000 HP, and that's been taken. They're going to see a flash in on top of Xiaohu as they try and take him down. Go on, get his ass! Yeah! They're able to pick him up. That one's for you, Yinsu, as they finally pick themselves up a kill. I promise Yinsu won't get his ass. That's all I want. That's all I had to do.
See,
with
the
this
thing is, you're supposed to slip it in subtly, not then draw attention to it.
Always call it out. Always call it out. But they do trade back a kill, but the Baron does go over to RNG, and they pick themselves up the Red Bull Baron power play.
Yeah, and I mean, this is where it starts to get a bit nervous for Istanbul Wildcats. I mean, more so than already was, right? You have no tower on bot side or in mid. It's only the inhibitor turrets left standing, and you've only got that singular tier 2 on the top. And with how strong RNG are at the moment, even the Frozen Heart now complete onto GALA, like, how do you try and kill this Ezreal at any point in time?
Magi stacks down to 2 now. You know, little silver linings on a very, very, very large dark cloud. As you can kind of see them kind of go for it. But yeah, I mean, we could try and, you know, set up what they could do, how they set this up, how they try and, you know, bring this back from the brink. But it is a near 10,000 gold lead at nearly 22 minutes. Baron pocket. It's just hard.
I mean, look, at least this game does give a bit more of a indication of like where RNG are at, right? Like, they're coming in incredibly strong. It feels like a lot of teams are kind of going, oh, well, you know, how clean are they? Haven't exactly been the cleanest, and I will definitely say that it's been kind of the same over when you look at the LPL, but it feels like when you get to this mid game, that's where RNG become terrifying.
They're just pushing forward, saying, look, we want you to fight us, but here we go. We're going to see a bit of a 3v4 in the mid lane as Farfetch finally gets some damage down, but Ming hook is good, and Bin cuts off all escape. Ming goes golden to keep himself alive for a little bit more, but he will fall down. But look at GALA and Wei. Reset after reset coming in here for Wei. And now StarScreen in a little bit of a troubled position because he tried to keep himself alive. He flashes away, but he shall go down. GALA picks that one up, and now GALA is feeling himself in the base with a double kill. He'll have the arcane shift. One more auto attack. He's not quite able to get it. But this is just pure domination right now from RNG. And they want this game to be done.
Yeah, they do. And I feel like it is over. 20 seconds on StarScreen, 20 on HolyPhoenix. The minions are there. It's Serin and Farfetch versus the world. And the world's a big old thing to try and hold up right now.
It really is. You're going to have to try your absolute hardest and try and give yourself some kind of way out, but it looks like the game won't just end here. They will, however, lose all inhibitor turrets. They're going to go for a full fight in that top side. They're going to try and catch out Bin as the rest of RNG are taking themselves away from the fight. Bin, though, he has a Baron buff and he's a Gangplank. I just don't see how you catch him.
Yeah, you just being able to reset very quickly. So nice attempt here. Dragon is up, but I don't feel like Istanbul Wildcats really want to try and commit for this, right? Third Dragon going the way of RNG, and you're just stuck in your base. 2 of your inhibitors are down. There's no inhibitor turrets left. The amount of wards that are in this area is kind of ludicrous. You don't need that much.
You don't, but you do have it, so you can use it to your best ability. They are going to start stunning down StarScreen as Xiaohu breaks some ankles away from the ultimate there of the Leona, and they will pick off StarScreen, and now Farfetch finds himself in a very precarious position. He tries to reach. He can almost grab the blast cone to safety, but he's dragged right back in. 2 kills go over the Ming. He is now 3-1-5, not to be outdone, and actually doing better than Bin.
Oh, HolyPhoenix, where are you going? I don't think that's...
Not home.
Yeah.
He's not going
Honestly,
home.
I'm not going to lie. That direction might be safer than the base right now.
He's got to try and find some place to get back, but he is going to start the recall now as the TP comes in. This is going to be what you would imagine the final push from RNG. They are sitting on 3-0, maybe sending the fastPay Wildcats to a 1-5 situation. There's going to be the Bin ultimate just to separate everyone in. And Serin, he can try and walk up to this. He can try and do some damage, but just look at these barrels. Look at the poke coming in from the Ezreal, but now Bin gets taken out, and it's all going to be on HolyPhoenix. He's going to try and get the damage down onto Xiaohu.
Wait a second.
Auto attack, that's 2 for HolyPhoenix, but can he deal with Wei? It's a bit of a turnaround here, but no way. Takes him out. Now GALA 1v3 finally gets some support. The flash in from Farfetch is not good enough, and GALA and Wei still stand strong as the rest of their army swarms in on the fastPay capital.
It looked like it was going to be the comeback for Istanbul there. Maybe a slight glimmer of hope, but RNG shut that out real fast.
Yeah, they decided the game was over. It was a good, valiant effort from the TCL representatives, but at the end of it all, you can't run from destiny. Can't hide, and you can only delay it for whatever it is. A shutdown of 1,000 goes right over to Ferret at the end. But RNG now 4-0 and getting themselves, I believe, solidified into the Rumble stage.
Yeah, I mean, with that, they will make sure that they're in that Rumble spot. It is just going to be a question of who's going to be joining them now, right? Because they still have to play PSG Talon. A win there would secure PSG Talon. If Red Canids can take them down for our last game of the day, it means that it could be Red who end up taking that last spot. But you can see the giants that are RNG are not going to fall that easily.
No, it was pretty dominating from start to finish. A couple of small kills. StarScreen on the Garen. He gave us a show.
Yeah.
You know, it very much was a fun time to see him take down the Gangplank on multiple occasions. But it felt like an inevitability. It felt like we were just waiting for the result after probably like 5 or 6 minutes when GALA had already denied, I think it was like 30 CS or something to HolyPhoenix, which again, coming into this tournament, was your win condition.
Yeah, I mean, when you're 4 or 5 minutes into the game, you're down 20 CS. It's not exactly the best place to be. So, I mean, look, GALA and Ming, again, getting that help from Wei, dominating the bottom side of the map. You get this Ezreal pick that has been working wonders for GALA, and it kind of becomes a case of, like, how do you try and deal with this, right? Because traditionally, you don't think of Ezreal as a super dominant laner, but when it falls into the hands of RNG, it certainly looks like that.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. And now we can start looking towards how this kind of sets up and how they go for it, but we're going to send it to a quick break, and when we return, I'm going to let the Analyst test set up this group.